Welcome to the Build a Purposeful, Profitable Business Doing What You Absolutely Love podcast, hosted weekly by Ange, your business fairy godmother, professional copywriter, published author, and business owner of 20 years. In every episode, Ange will deliver useful bite-sized insights to help you find your voice, position your value, demystify the marketing tech, and run your business on your terms.
Okay, welcome to episode 20 of the podcast. And I'm so excited today to have with me Bryan S Arnold, and he is the authority coach. So welcome, Bryan, to the program.
Thank you for having me, Ange. I'm so excited to be on the show. This is great.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so you're the authority coach. So if you can just tell the listeners what that means, what is it that you do for your customers?
Well, it's the root of it is just getting people to understand that they got to get out there. They got to get out there and be consistent. And that in today's world, it is so hard to find your groove unless you're out there. It's so hard to stand out. So you have to build authority. Not that you have to be, and some people say, be the authority. And I'm saying, no, just be a authority to the people that you serve. Because the world is huge. So if you're just an authority to the people that you serve, you're doing, probably better than most people will ever do in their lifetimes. So
yeah, and that's so true. I mean, we always say that there is an audience out there for you, and there's people that you serve that want to hear from you that won't hear from other people. So you've definitely got a niche, you've got an audience that you want to serve. So you just want to stand out as the authority for them.
Right.
All right. And they're not going to go to other people. They just want to hear from you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what would you say are the key things that people need to bear in mind to create that authority with their audience?
Awesome. So I have this motto on my podcast. It says, build it, share it, and they will come. That's the motto. So the first thing you do is you start building. If you have this idea or whatever, you're going to start building. And I kind of liken it to you building a house where you're starting with this shell, the shell of a business. Okay. It's okay, people. If you have a shell, I think a lot of people don't start because they want everything so perfect, but nothing is built that way. Everything starts with a little shell. If you see anybody building a house, it doesn't instantly just pop up in there unless you have one of those, or the prefab houses that you can just you can do that. That's the exception. Yeah.
It'll blow over.
Right. Exactly. But, start with your shell and start building off of that and continue to build. I lament how many times I was the start and stop guy. I'd start something, then stop because I got discouraged because I still have my shell and that I didn't build it. I wasn't continuing to build it. Just still an ugly looking shell. So I never built anything further. So I'd stop it and I try to build something else. Then I stop it and try to build something else. Then I stop it. So nothing was consistent. So start with building first and continuing to build, so that when people when people see you, and this is the second part. Is when you share it. So when you share it, people are going to see that shell and say, great, this is where, they see the foundation. Great. It's wonderful. You're starting. Good for you, Bryan. Wonderful. But the next time you invite them over to see this house, it better look something better than what they had before. Right. Or people are going to be like, okay, what people have that same question that people will ask you. It's like, well, whatever happened, Bryan, to that idea you had? Well, and so when people come back, people will actually come back to see what are you doing now. So if you're not continually building, you're gonna instantly get discouraged. You're gonna just get discouraged and stop.
Right.
So you got to keep that
the momentum
right.
going.
Keep that momentum going, and sharing. When as soon as they share it and come back, it should look better than what it was before, right?
Right. Yes. And I like what you said about build it, share it, and they will come, because a lot of people think build it and they will come.
Right.
But that's not true, right?
No. This isn't.
They're not going to know you're there.
Right. This isn't Field of Dreams. You gotta do some sharing on there. That's marketing, people. By the way, that's what sharing means.
Yeah.
So you got to promote yourself, because you're going to be in the wilderness. So and when they come, right, and when the last part, they will come. Make sure the people who are coming are your targeted audience, people that you want to hang out with, people that that you want to serve. You should already know that people that are coming in should already know when they come to your house, when you have your dinner, your gathering. They should already know that I like apple pie. Don't force blueberry pie on them, because they don't want that. They come to your house for blueberry pie. Give them, apple pie. Give them apple pie. So
give them what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think you hit the nail on the head when you said there's a tendency when you start something and it doesn't quite go maybe to plan, or it's a bit slower than you thought it was going to be. How do people not give up? You mentioned sort of not giving up, because a lot of the time I think when people give up, maybe success was just around the corner.
Right.
And if, and I think of times in the past when I have done things and I've thought at certain times, oh, maybe this is, I should just give up. But then realize that, okay, if I'd have given up then, this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So, it's just how do you encourage people or to the listeners here that may be thinking this is really hard, especially like in these times that we're in now with COVID, and there's, we've got all these different hurdles in the way that are stopping business as normal, perhaps, for a lot of people. How do you encourage them to stick at it and not go and chase the next pipe dream kind of thing?
You have to chase. You have to chase your what you want to see, because your faith is one thing. You have to confirm it with something that you really want to see. So, that's why I say keep on building, because when you're building constantly, eventually you're going to see something come to fruition. Like you can especially with when you're a solopreneur, you say, for instance, you're trying to do this landing page and it just is not going to work. This landing page is not working, for some reason you get discouraged. Like you're just going to give up. But if you keep at it or get help or whatever, so you can and chase it and see it eventually, and say, wow, this, if I kept at it, I see it now. So you have to keep on building layers on your belief. Otherwise you're going to go the other direction. You're going to go the direction. So you have to chase it. That's all I can say, is that you have to chase that moment. Like if you're a solopreneur right now, you're getting burnt out. You need some help. Chase it to the point where you get enough revenues to say, okay, great, I got enough to get an assistant. But you got to go after it. You have to go after it and see that wow, this is where I want. This is the level I want to be at. And those kind of things.
Right. So part of what you're saying basically is they've got to set goals and hit those goals, like small milestone goals.
Yeah.
And just constantly keep hitting them, and then not giving up if they don't. Right. And then
it's hard, but you have to stack that belief, because let me tell you, if you don't, then you're going to give up too quickly, and you're going to regret it. And I don't want anybody listening to this to regret those kind of things.
No, sure. We want people to succeed, right? Yes. And I think as well, the thing is when you share, it's amazing what comes out when you do share. I mean, I think a lot of small business owners make the mistake of, I don't know, either they're not marketing at all and just maybe just to a few people and thinking that's enough. So they're not doing enough actually that they should be doing. So I would say just stick at it. Make sure you're marketing, as you say, to the right people. So it's knowing who you're supposed to be targeting, and not getting discouraged if the wrong people say no. Is, well, they aren't your audience anyway, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's just stick at it and keep. And I think one of the things I was told, was just having a conversation the other day with someone about this, is not being too attached to the outcome.
Oh yeah.
I think that helps. It's hard to do because you are obviously emotionally attached, or especially if you want income coming in, you think, okay, this sale's got to be the one, right?
Right.
But if you're emotionally attached to it, I think your buyer can sense
Right.
that there's
Yeah.
that. Whereas
I
if you're
think
not emotionally attached,
right. I think you need to be just obsessed with the effort.
mm,
And because the outcome is never going to be what you think it is at first.
no,
I
yeah,
guarantee you,
yeah.
because you can have this great stuff. I remember it's so funny because I had a guest on my show and I was just like, I was so emotionally distraught because I was doing this big campaign, this effort to get more people and, listening to my podcast, and just like, it was those first few days, I was just like, what am I doing? She was like, how you doing, Brian? It's like, I'm not doing too well. I don't know if this isn't working. I was just like distraught, pouring out all my feelings on this guest. I was just like, oh, Brian, what are you doing, Brian? Just poise. So, but it wasn't there. It wasn't there, Ange. So it was so funny. Like, I think like the next day, the effort that I was doing was paying off. Like the very next day, I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting some results now. So right. I actually texted that lady back. I was like, I'm actually doing well now. So whatever I just said yesterday, just erase that, delete. But you do get discouraged, right?
Yeah.
You do have these moments where it's just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And I think one of the things as well is when you're in business, as they say, it can be quite lonely, right? You haven't got anyone to talk to. I mean, if you're a boss, you can't talk to employees about it, right? So who do you talk to? Then usually your family might not understand exactly what it is you're doing.
Right.
So I think it's important to get a kind of get yourself into a little ecosystem of other business owners that can help you, because it's like you say, and sometimes you have to vent, you have to let go, you have to say how you feel.
Right.
So you need someone who understands what that's like. And then you never know, they might say something that will give you an idea, and okay, I'm going to go and do this, or they'll give you some advice, or they've been there before so they can help you. Right. So it's definitely, as a business owner, you have to have that ecosystem of a network of other business owners you can talk to.
I think we all need that. Me especially, or people like me out, because I'm very much introverted and very shy. So it's like a comfort zone to be isolated anyway, right? So I never really need that when I'm building a business. So I always tell people, like, you can't do this alone, especially if you're an introvert, because you're like, you have this thing like, I can do it myself. Don't worry about it. And that's, you can't. You just really can't. You need other people around you. You need people pushing you. You need people encouraging you. You need to get ideas from other people, because maybe you're not doing it as efficiently as you think you are. You might get a better idea from somebody else, and like, oh wow,
exactly. I think we're always learning. There's always something to learn. There's always something to improve.
Exactly.
And you're right. If you're just doing it alone, you're only going to be seeing things from one point of view, and you don't know what you don't know. Right. Until somebody points it out.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's important always, is like business owners should have coaches, right, or mentors, someone to help them to go through. So like I've always, through my business, I've been running my business for 20 years, and I've always had a coach of some description or other. Nice. So when I first set up the business, I didn't know anything about running a business. So I was a teacher before, right? I knew nothing about running a business. So when I realized, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I just like ended up with a business by mistake. really?
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was work from home and look
Right,
after the kids when they were young.
right.
Then I had to register a company because I'm earning money. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't do that without having a job or a company. So I have to have a company, right?
Yeah.
So I went and registered a company. Then it was okay. Now I've got a business. And then I had to hire staff because it got busy. So then I had to get an office. And then it was like, okay, well, now I've got people to look after. I've got an office rent to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, what am I doing here? Now
Right,
the pressure then was, okay, I've got to get money every month because I've got to
right,
pay the rent. I've got to pay the salary, right?
right.
So then I thought, okay, I need someone to help me, right? So I hired a coach.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best things I ever did because he helped me to systemize the business ready for growth.
Great.
And change my mindset in a way because it was like, okay, you've got to, this is you now, but you want to grow, so you need to now start planning for that growth
Yeah.
and position everything in your business so that you're going to grow. So that really helped, having him. Then I had other coaches along the way that helped with marketing, and packaging what you offer,
Mm-hmm.
and mindset. I think mindset's the biggest part, right, of anything.
It's
If you haven't got the right
it's
mindset.
very sneaky, but yes,
Mm.
yes. Because I was one of those guys who, just like, whatever mindset. Because after a while, just like, whatever mindset, whatever. It was, it's not a big deal. But until you position yourself to think, you know what, that's really the backbone of everything. It's really the backbone of everything is where's your mind at? Because if your mind is always giving you like the negative, like this isn't going to work, this is, looking at the results like this is the end all be all of my existence, my business. Why am I doing this? Your mindset has to stay balanced,
Yeah.
So if it's not, then it carries over to everything that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my my favorite quotes is the one by Henry Ford. Is like, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Right. So you're basically, whatever you believe is right. Because you believe it, right? And it's going to carry through in everything that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Okay. So I think we'll wrap this up now.
Great.
But Bryan, just let us know where the audience can find you, and if they're needing any help, just creating that authority in their brand, where can they get in touch with you?
Sure. I just tell them to go to the authorityletter.com and they can get on my list and they can get on to, I can drip email them my video series, which goes over more in depth of what I was talking about today about build it, share it, and they will come.
Right.
And after that, they'll get weekly emails, some videos, mostly videos, really. I'm liking the videos now. So
yeah.
even though writing's my thing, but I like the videos too.
Okay. Yeah,
so,
me too.
Yeah. So you'll get a mix of that and we'll have a lot of fun. And it's a good community of people who are there. And I do a lot of giveaways too. So that's a plus as well. So you make some digital stuff as well. Or gift cards or whatever.
Get lots of value from you there.
Right.
So let me just check that again, because I'll put this in the link for them to click on as well. But authorityletter.com?
Yep, theauthorityletter.com.
The Authority Letter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I shall put that link in, and they can definitely look out for Bryan and just check out what he's got. He's an absolutely fantastic guy and definitely an authority in his field. And so if you're looking to build your authority, which definitely always helps in your business because it's going to increase sales. People only buy when they believe that you can do what you do.
Yes.
So look out for Bryan. So Bryan, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you. And one last thing, I was remiss about, if you want to get onto my podcast as well, the Authority Project. Check that out. Check that out in all your favorite podcast outlets as well. So that's out there.
So your podcast, The Authority Project. wherever you get your podcast from. Yeah.
There you go. But great, thanks for having me in. This is wonderful. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful, honored to be on here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.